Yeah, well, I guess, that makes you skate punk street cred.
Yeah, Rodney Mullen.
Just tell everybody
Mullen.
Rodney Mullen's your cousin.
I used to drop that back in elementary school back in the day during Tony Hawk. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's me, dude. That's
my
bigger.
Rodney Mullen would probably be your grandpa, though. He's old, man.
Dude,
what's he, 60 now?
Easy.
No.
Rodney Mullen?
60? I don't know. Listen, I saw a picture of Johnny Knoxville recently, and he looks old as hell. Have you seen him like on Facebook?
That is not being old. That's a history of about 10 to 15, maybe 20 years of being completely awful to your body. Just drugs, alcohol, and straight up physical abuse.
Yeah.
Listen, so much credit. Every time I watch Jackass, what is it, number 2 with the rocket?
Dude,
where it shoots off, and it's like, dude almost died.
Like,
because it shot out the side, like the big metal part or something.
Yeah, because everything he's done is really dumb.
Didn't he almost die in the golf cart flip in the first one? He gets jettisoned through the front of it, and it just could have crushed him.
Mm-hmm.
The putt derby.
Yeah.
The golf carts.
What if these were all really, really high level riggings, and that we're all just made to believe that he almost died, but really it was really well put together stunt, and we're all just gullible.
I mean, some of those guys are dead.
Oh, yeah, you didn't see the stunt double switch in between it?
There is a guy who looks like Johnny Knoxville who's dead right now.
Probably in the whole history of America.
No, I mean he died from being Johnny Knoxville's stunt double.
Oh,
I wouldn't doubt it. All right, guys. Let's get into this. Sweet.
Oh boy, we're just getting into it.
Well, let's get into some good content. Jackass is always fun. I'll probably keep this in. It'll be fun. But all right, guys. Unconventional welcome, divers and Mullenites. Everyone listening in, tuning in. If you're watching this visually, as you can see, it's not just my pretty face. And by the looks of my guests, if you are watching in, they don't look that ska-ish at all. So guess what? Yeah. There's a bit of there's some small ska references that are going to come out, but these guys look punk as fuck, and they look like some Buffalo natives. And before I just bring them up and just say who they are, I mean, you could obviously look ahead, look at the title of the episode. You'll see what band we're talking to. But I always love to do this big, nice break-in, and I want to let you all know. I almost dropped the name offhand. This band, I was reached out. Unfortunately, I've never heard of them until they reached out to me. And I'm like, all right, local Buffalo guys, I'll give them a shot. They're punk. Fuck yeah, let's check it out. And I wasn't expecting it. When I clicked play on, what was the opening song? I have that up. When I clicked play on Lifeline, I was not expecting for what I received. And what it was a chaotic punch in the face with some hardcore melodic leads ripping over some fucker screaming, and then having this guttural growl. So there's some screams and then the growls, and then there's some hardcore fuck yeah adrenaline that just got me pumped up. And to my knowledge, from all the bands I've seen in Buffalo, the only one that has done this for me so far is the guest On The Cinder. Guys, thank you so much.
That's a great intro. Thank you.
It worked.
I tried myself.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. Thank you so much, guys, for calling in. So I always want to kind of start off and kind of go a little bit of how the band come together and how this come to be. It's a 3-piece punk band. You guys are based out of Buffalo. Are you all Buffalo native?
Not technically.
No?
I'm originally from Syracuse, and Mike here is from Rochester. So we're upstate / Western New York natives, but we went to college together.
Yeah, we just run down the 90, Syracuse, Rochester. And
I'm actually from Buffalo.
Okay.
You can't tell by his voice.
Yeah.
They picked you up at the end. They're like, all right, I guess we better stop here.
We pretty much stopped and found a practice space.
So you guys said you all went to college together. Where'd you guys go, and where'd you guys meet then? How'd that happen? If you don't mind.
Oh, boy.
We were all roommates. It was just kind of serendipitous that we just all had this group of friends I think there were 5 of us in the first house.
Like 5 or 6. It was a loose number.
Yeah.
Jay was living in the attic.
I was literally a troll in the attic. I didn't have a place to live, and they were like, well, we don't have any bedrooms left, but we do have an attic, technically. And
I just slept on the couch for the first year.
Ty slept on the couch. It was kind of an ambiguous amount of living situation, but we all got out of former ska bands. And I know you love ska. So
I love ska. So what were the bands that you guys were from?
Tyler and I were, so we all met at UB.
Okay.
And then we lived at the Flower House, which is UB South Campus.
Okay.
And Tyler and I were in a band called the Stakeouts, who were technically from Rochester, but we sort of moved everything to Buffalo. And Jay was in a band.
I was in this band called Fleet Street. And how long have you been into ska? Is a better question.
I've been into ska since about 2009. But my local knowledge of ska bands didn't grow until a little bit after high school.
All right.
And it kind of dipped out. So
yeah, so I grew up in Syracuse, and we had a buttload of ska. And a few of my ska-based friends ended up also moving to Buffalo on like similar college sort of venture.
Mm-hmm.
We played in a band called Fleet Street.
Okay.
Like Sweeney Todd sort of. We did not play Sweeney Todd covers. Don't get me wrong. It was more of a, homage. But we did play a lot of really cheesy songs.
So did you guys come out dressed up like all of you dressed up like Johnny Depp from Sweeney Todd? Was that?
We honestly, it might have been better if we had. But I know that we started, so we got like a local cover recurring like bar gig where we would play open and close every set with Final Countdown.
Okay.
We were like a rock band with horns more than a ska band.
They were cooler than he's giving them credit for. Like that's how we got to know Jay, because we would go see his band play at Mr. Good Bar, and like. Yeah, it's still ska, I think.
It was fun.
That's okay.
Fun, but managing a band of 9 to 11 to 13 people can be tough.
That can be tough, man. I mean, I don't know. You said it's not really ska. Mike, you're kind of saying it is a little bit of ska. I don't know. I've heard the term. I think Ricky Coates coined it. It was a ska adjacent. I heard someone call it.
Ricky Coates.
Oh my God.
Is a name I have not heard in a long time.
Wow.
Man,
Cheers to that one.
That's an Obi-Wan Kenobi moment right there. Damn.
Good old, hey, if you're listening, Ricky, cheers to you, buddy. I haven't seen a hot minute.
What was the ska band he played in before Lightning Killed My Parents?
No, before AKS, guys. Abominable Killer Snowman.
Yes.
Listen, okay. Yeah. All right. So let me tell you guys something. AKS, my high school ska band. Not mine. They were the seniors when I was like freshmen. So that was what I looked up to back in high school.
Everybody's got one. Your high school is only allowed one ska band per school.
Well, because everyone's in that one ska band. All 13 people.
Like there's not 2 separate groups of 13 people that can create bands.
Oh no. Or I mean, the best way I think it is, are you going to find that many people in the band department that would do bands? Like,
no.
You got the people that wanted to play ska. That was it.
Ska bands are always a conglomerate of so guys who like kind of half learned to play guitar a little bit, and that was him. And then like a lot of like they're like loose friends who play in band who play horns, who are like they don't really know them that well. And the people who are playing the horns are not really that interested in playing in a like ska punk band.
Yeah.
But everybody kind of comes together in a way that's loosely works for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to the Lightning Killed My Parents reunion show?
Yes, I did.
I was also there because I was there for both them and Do It With Malice.
So that was my first time seeing Do It With Malice, that show, actually.
That was their coming to retirement, wasn't it?
Yeah, you'll probably never see them again. They all live all over the place.
I'm in like a fantasy baseball league with Deli, Chris Delmont, their guitar player and frontman, and I've been just
they like split
bothering the hell out of him to be like, hey man, On The Cinder wants to play with Do It With Malice. And he's like, we need a saxophone player. I'm like, so go get one.
Oh, Tom Kramer moved to like Maryland or
something.
somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from what I've gathered, the rage and demand for Buffalo for Do It With Malice, if they reached out and were like, "Hey, who could play sax?" I'm pretty sure someone would step up.
So
oh yeah,
you're
Easily.
actually you're looking
probably
at
Ricky Coates.
our studio here.
Yeah.
Not so much, but if I actually did some tracks in here for Do It With Malice where they laid down a bunch of demos of like really gnarly, like kind of hardcore songs, but it was only like guitar and drums and bass. And I was like, is this all you guys are doing? And they're like, yeah, this is just so we can deliver it to like potential horn players so that we can hopefully find somebody to play with us.
Interesting. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we got some really awesome songs that had no vocals or horn parts, but man, they were really cool.
Sweet.
Their
I'll have to see if we
current
could get a little sample of those one of these times.
Hell yeah.
Cool. So let's go back to this. So you guys all were in ska band. You guys were kind of all from your own backgrounds of Mike and Tyler. You guys were in a band. Jay, is it Jay or Jason? What do you
It
go
doesn't
by?
matter. Both are fine.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Jason.
Cool.
You guys were you kind of had two bands, and where did it come by where the three of you were like, hey, what Buffalo needs is a 3-piece punk melodic hardcore? Like, how did that happen? Because the jump from ska and like a 13-piece band down to 3, that's a significant shrink.
Right. I think that we all, so the bands all sort of broke up serendipitously at the same time.
Two serendipitous
But-
references.
But most
Not bad.
most of the whole thing was
I can give
because
him a couple more here.
me and Mike actually formed a very, very short-lived ska band afterwards. And then we were like, I am never playing with more than 5 people ever again.
It was called Mike and Tyler and the Penis. Never mind, I'm done.
What was the band? What was the band called?
Uncommonly smooth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Named after the Red Dog slogan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So while we were all living together,
Mhm.
Jay and I were just talking about doing a side thing. We're like, let's do some acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
We were really into Frank Turner at that point and still are. But
Turns out we suck really bad.
yeah, I remember I ordered a mandolin for a more like acoustic
I like
project.
their albums.
And the mandolin got put on back order, so it never arrived. Meanwhile, Tyler was sitting around. We're like, why don't we just put electric to this?
I had no gig, so I went, hey, you guys want a drummer?
Yeah.
So we were like, we're gonna do like acoustic guitars with drums, and we're like, wow, we sound like shit.
Did we ever get to acoustic? I don't think we did.
No, it was acoustic guitar. Anyway, long story short, we sound like shit. So we're like, we know how to play punk rock. Let's just play it without horns. And
Okay.
and then we became this sort of like semi-technical 3-piece band. I guess as technical as a 3-piece band can be, which is not. They're kind of in the middle.
Well, I'm gonna say at first when I was just talking with you, Mike, before I actually looked into the rest of you guys. The minute you reached out, I was like, all right, cool. First thing I do, go right to iTunes, hit play, download, just instantly. I want to listen. I want to get a good first impression, and I was impressed. For one, you guys are a local band, and not in a. And I want to preface it and say, I hope it doesn't come out wrong when I say this, is that not every song sounds, holy shit, they're not local. There is still this authentic originality where you're like, no, fuck yeah, this is Buffalo, and these are guys that have real feelings, and they're telling you how it is. And there's this like, it's not everything's perfectly polished, and that's good. It's punk. It feels it. It feels real. Like, I feel like that's how some of these songs would sound when at Mohawk. And some of your the live videos I've listened to, it's awesome. And I wouldn't have known that it was a 3-piece band. You guys sound amazing. It sounds intricate, and like I was hearing inspiration. Like I was pulling instantly. I'm like, wow, this is definitely something I'm going to hear at Warped Tour. The melodic, the lead, it's just crazy. And I don't listen to punk as much as I used to, and the punk I do doesn't have wicked melodics going through, and it blow me away. So your intricacy for being a 3-piece, I'm highly impressed, and really, like anyone that is listening, if you haven't yet, I hope you guys would have, but if you haven't yet, please check them out to hear this. You guys gotta hear this.
probably the best compliment we've ever gotten. We figure that between Mike and I, we're one functional singer.
Yeah.
And Tyler is really the backbone of basically being like some kind of crazy machine program drummer.
Yes.
And we pretty much piggyback off him. It's honestly, we're really awful at our instruments, but he's good, and it makes us sound less bad.
Yeah, I think drums are really the most important part of the band. Drums have so much to do with tone of the band. Like, it keeps everything together, and it really sets the precedent for just the level of not professionalism, but just the most. I think just the talent. Like,
Yes.
the drums carry so much of the talent of a whole band.
I
think it was Buddy Rich who said that a great band with an average drummer is an average band, but a bad band with a good drummer is a great band.
Well, I can hear that. I can take that. And it's not the sense that you carry the band as a drummer, or not even just you specifically, or the drummer carries the band, but it is the drummer that the drummer holds it together. And when you're playing some aggressive thrash, you need to be able to have someone that can contain it, so the rest of the band doesn't go out of control on it.
If Mike or I play a wrong note, it probably will go under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
If Tyler fucks up, it's going to be really awful.
It rarely happens. Rarely ever. He's got to be drunk or completely distracted, or someone has to throw a shoe at him or something.
We actually
all happened.
Yeah.
Early in our career, we had Tyler have a set. I think he broke 8 sticks in a set.
Oh, I didn't break them. I threw them.
We threw them
because it was $5 pitcher night at Broadway shows.
My God, that's a place I haven't heard of in forever.
Yeah, you want to
R.I.P.
It's for the best.
You guys want to invest?
No.
I don't know.
So after the set that Tyler went through 8 sticks, I was like, guys, it was a pretty good set.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, I guess I lost 8 separate sticks in separate occasions. And I was like, oh, all right. Well, I still thought it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So they can basically, I think the gist of the whole bit is that you got a solid drummer, you're in a lot better shape rather than having, your backbone's in place.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I'll tell you, you guys have a fucking solid drummer. You do.
Thank you.
I think so.
You do.
I held on to him for like 11 years.
That's
or something.
true. We've been playing music for fucking forever.
You're telling him how old we are.
We're mega
11
old.
years. Oh, all right. So,
well, the band started in 2013.
Okay. So the band kicks off in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
How soon did you guys start writing original material to put something out? Because it looked, I saw it's 2016 is when.
Oh boy, it did not take us 3 years.
2016 was a Fight Against Ourselves dropping.
Okay, so that was actually the second release. If you really dig deep, and I don't encourage this at all, but if you really dig deep, there are some releases before that we did kind of like home demos. That we still, I don't say we play those songs, but they definitely exist. And I think 2013, probably 2014, we released probably a 5-song EP that probably didn't see a lot of attention, which is probably for the best. And then probably later that same year, we took 7 songs on tour for like 9 days, because we were dumb.
We just wanted to go play. So,
no, there's nothing dumb with that. I mean, isn't that what everyone does? The minute you get a band together, the minute you could find someone or a group of people together, first thing you do is you want to put songs together and then either put out a CD or a vinyl, which you guys have, which I would love to. I want to get into. And after you have music to put out, you want to go and play it. Mm-hmm. So if you guys went on a tour, where was the first tour? Was it something local or was it like
the Northeast?
New England?
We bounced around like Boston, and we used like all the old contacts we had from previous projects, and I think we did like 9 days. But we've been touring pretty consistently over the years. Like probably the worst tour, as in the longest, was like 7 weeks.
Oh
And
my
we didn't even
gosh.
get past. We didn't even get past Texas. I don't
It
think.
wasn't the worst, but it could have been orchestrated in a way that was more intelligent.
We were just ready to hit the road, and I do wonder how many shows we played at this
We
point.
played a butt. Oh, we're probably in 1,000 range.
Nice. How often do you guys, when you're pre-COVID, how frequent are you guys out and around touring? Is it kind of like a side job, or are you guys? Is this the full time for you guys?
I think all musicians are kind of stuck being side jobs just because of the way of the industry and the way to actually make money. But we were really consistently doing a southern tour in January and February, which would go to Texas and Florida. We did that for like 3 years.
We did Texas and Southern California.
So we've done 2 years of what I refer to as the Southwest Passage, where you go to California through going to Texas and Arizona and New Mexico. We did 1 year of the Northeast or the Northwest Passage. That was rough.
Yeah, there was a 19-hour drive in there from Colorado to Seattle, Washington, and somewhere in the middle of that drive, we lost our brake lines.
I was driving for that. I remember exactly where it was.
Oh no!
Somewhere in Utah. It wasn't good, but
it was in. I got really drunk after that Utah.
Yeah. So we've been out and about.
We usually do about 3 to 4 months out of the year in tour.
That's not bad. That's actually that's really good. I like that. It's cool to hear that, where it's not just I'm a local band and we just we play a show here or there once every couple of weeks. It's like, nope, you guys are active and playing. I'm sorry to ask this, but before COVID hit, what were you guys currently doing? Were you planning anything through here, or were you guys currently in the middle of getting ready to play shows?
So we did get our early tour in this year, which was nice. So we did. Yep. We've been through Florida, Texas, and California and back. So that was, I think, 4 weeks, 3 weeks maybe.
4 weeks.
And so we're lucky we got that in, because a lot of bands don't usually tour until the spring or the summertime. So it was nice to get that in. And now we're kind of just sitting on our hands, writing a lot, and we want to tour. It's just when it's safe, Not just here, but everywhere.
We lost we lost a new idea, which is kind of the biggest bummer about the whole thing. Is that usually we would do like a spring summer-ish tour that would be a little bit shorter, and we would do something that's like the Northeast, the New England area, maybe back down to Florida or Texas, and then come back. Because once you start getting west of that, the drives get a lot longer and the commitment becomes much bigger. But these are markets that we can hit pretty frequently. Like I think the last time that we did the short run was like 2.5 weeks or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really convenient because we still get to go hit all these big important places. And we were coming up with this strategy to basically try to, instead of doing 2.5 weeks straight, we were going to do basically a week and a half in a straight line and back, and then just do that 3 times so that we could get more and more, so we could actually get more time in while also not going completely broke.
That's pretty cool. Something different. I haven't heard of that from many bands. It's something different. Are you guys thinking about still trying to do that then next year, assuming it's
maybe we ended up. The only things we've canceled, we had a hold at Mohawk Place for like a Friday night, and we just felt like it wasn't safe to do that right now.
It was in July.
Yeah, and we had the hold for like 6 months before that. I asked the booking agent like the first Friday he could give us, and he's like, it was December, and he's like, I got something in July, and we were like, take it. But then this whole pandemic happened, so we had to cancel that.
We had New England booked.
We did some.
We basically canceled 2 tours. We've canceled 2 tours so far.
Well, listen,
and some
guys.
festival stuff.
Listen, I want to let all the divers, all the Mullinites listening, watching, and tuning in. These guys kick ass. They rock your fucking ears off. As you just heard them say, man, they had to put 2 tours pretty much on hold, and right now they're not out doing that, making the merch sales at those tours because they do so well. And we're going to do a quick plug in that. If you haven't yet, help support the band, help them out. Go to their, they have a shop. We'll drop the links out. Go pick up the vinyl. It is beautiful. I don't believe all the vinyls are white. I got a sick white vinyl.
Mike just gave me the white. That's because
I like
he
white.
picked it. We have multiple colors.
Multiple
Mike
colors.
I think
white looks pure. White is pure and clean,
like his virgin bottle.
Yeah.
Oh God.
been drinking since the beginning of practice today. Sorry.
No. Vinyl Divers is a good show for that. Other shows, not so much. But listen, Divers Mullinites, we're not done yet here. But if you're able to help them out, head on over to those shops. The links are going to be below or in the description. Head on over, picked up the vinyl. I think Lamplighter is $15 or is it $12?
Yeah, it's 15? Like 12 in shipping. I think it's 15 around.
Go pick it up. You actually get both their vinyls on their website, and we're gonna push those and promote those at the end again. But right now, if you're able to and you're watching this, hell, click over, add a new tab, and I don't know, go buy it while they're here. Yeah.
We will send the personalized note if you choose to buy it. We appreciate any support. We got some new projects in the works, so we might throw some like sneak peek stuff in your package.
That'd be fun.
Hell yeah, guys! Yeah, you guys like the swag packs? Go out, support them, and keep listening. So,
actually,
what's up?
This week is the 1 year anniversary of Lamplighter coming out, and we're gonna do a sale of the vinyl. It's like 10% off right now. We waived our fees on our Store Envy page. And then we're going to do a package. Since winter's coming, we're going to have like a winter cap dealio with a cute little beanie.
You ever see South Park? The little pom-poms?
The Stan hat.
We're doing pom-pom hats.
I like
it's not cool, but it's cool.
Oh, no, it's cool. Guys, everyone, when those things drop, we want to sell them out. We'll sell that shit out on them.
At least one.
I know. I'll be grabbing one for sure.
So we're definitely gonna sell one.
I hope so. So Anthony, should we pick your brain, or would you rather interview us?
So I'm gonna pick your brain and interview you guys. And I want to ask. We mentioned the vinyl, and I want to go into that. So what is the process for you guys to transfer your music over into that? Because it's a big step, especially for local groups. I mean, I remember growing up, going to shows, seeing a lot of CDs and download codes or merch codes and stuff like that. But only recently am I starting to see more local bands are putting their music onto wax and putting it out there because it's coming back, and there's a huge revival that I don't know. I think it kicked off 5 or something years ago. So
vinyl, you can debate it all day, but honestly, if you get a well done vinyl record, it's the quality, the music quality, the sound quality it is the best you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to get your music onto vinyl doesn't take a lot of technology or anything. It's just a lot of money, because putting anything on vinyl is like, first of all, there's only a handful of places that do it anymore.
Really?
And they don't do it cheap. Like, I think
there's 8 pressing plants in the whole United States.
Yeah, there's probably you're looking at, I think the only reasonable price point to do it at, like per unit, you got to do 300 or more. And
okay.
And you're still looking at about a $3,000 investment. And which it might be a little less than that, but realistically, if you're not going to sell that many, it really doesn't make sense to do vinyl it's a lot of money. It's a huge investment, and you're hoping on like a decent return. You may or may not get it. We were really fortunate to run into somebody on the road while we were touring who wanted to start his own vinyl record label and was willing to do it with a high risk, thinking that he would pay for the money, or he would pay for the vinyl, and we would somehow pay him back in sales. And believe it or not, we managed to sell a 7-inch that he put out for us that was, I have no idea how much it originally cost, but it was probably above $1,000. And yeah, we managed to push it, we managed to sell it, and he put out our second record because we managed to pay off the first one. He was like, okay, well, I guess you guys are cool. And
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then when it came to this record, Lamplighter, he was like, guys, I love you guys, but I'm out of money.
So we were paying him back.
Okay.
Not that like being in a band is all about accruing debt, and
not paying it off.
So we paid off our 7-inch. We made money on that on tour. We paid off our full length, The Fight Against Ourselves, and when we asked the label about putting out the next record, he's like, well, I've put out these other records and I'm kind of just sitting on a lot of material right now. I can't really invest in that. So I did like pretty much what every other punk rock label does. Ask your dad. And so my dad helped pitch in for the pressing of the record.
It turns out dads have $5,000 laying around. Every dad has like a $5,000 cash just laying around.
It was so. Have you ever heard of Epitaph Records?
Oh yeah.
Epitaph Records is Brett Gerwitz. He asked his dad. That's how he got started.
Fat Wreck. He asked his dad.
Fat Mike asked his dad for stuff, and now Flower House Records. I think my dad ponied up $2,000. That's all we needed. And we're
made
so
back.
close to paying him back.
We're right there.
Yeah.
But we spent it on hats instead.
So just anything about putting out a vinyl record is expense, and you got to be ready to be on the road to sell it. And
that's really the big thing, I think, is that because, like we said, the only price point that makes any sense at all is like 300 records. So it's that big upfront investment. But if you can get to the second pressing, if you can blow out those 300 records, the second time that you do that is dirt cheap.
Yeah.
It's
like $3 a record after.
You gotta find 300 people that really like vinyl. So far, we know you.
Listen, divers, everyone out there, I pull in a pretty good chunk of listeners. Y'all subscribe in. Let's get them to hit that mark. We want to see a second pressing of Lamplighter. The 1 year anniversary come up. We want a second pressing, man, for sure. No, especially
we'll do a
hat with a palm.
We'll do a pack if the second pressing comes about, and we hope it does. But if the second pressing comes about, we'll do like a fan appreciation package. We'll do like the hat, the pom pom hat. We'll do something special for the second pressing. We'll do I don't know exactly, a patch maybe, or like one of those sweet ass combs. You remember when you were in the 6th grade and everybody combed their hair?
Yeah, I do.
Switchblade comb?
Yeah, a switchblade comb. We'll do it on the cinder switch. No, it's a terrible idea.
That can get you guys in trouble if you're not careful with that.
Yeah.
And when Jerry rigged that, swap it out for a real blade, get caught in the middle of a murder. Where's the evidence? On the cinder. Oh shit.
We used to make lighters ourselves by hand. We put our names on the lighters that we bought from China.
That's pretty cool.
It was cool until people started reporting that they were blowing up in their hands.
That's dangerous. That's punk, but that's not cool. That's punk, but that's not cool. That's not safety. So let's get into this album. So vinyl is beautiful, sound is amazing, aggressive as hell. Where was the inspiration for some of the writing of some of these songs? Here, I'm gonna tell you, I love Lifeline. There's a line in it right at the end, is do what it takes to get you through the worst day you've ever known. And I'm gonna tell you, when I read that, I was like, man, that's a good fucking song. And then that just kind of hits hard.
It looks like I think Jay has to bow out for a little bit, but as far as Lifeline goes, we're from Buffalo, and there's a lot of different crises from here. A lot of friends that have had drug issues, a lot of friends that have dealt with some mental health concerns, and I'm also a crisis counselor in Rochester. So the Lifeline is the National Prevention Lifeline, and that song is all about just some stories of friends that we lost, and it's how do we put this? It's about showing reverence to these friends and missing them, but also trying to, suggest to people that are struggling like that there are ways to get help, there are ways to get support, and that was the story of Lifeline pretty much.
The music is good. I mean, you guys' sound is really tight, but some of the lyrics and some of the other songs and the inspiration you're saying you're pulled from, you're all from Buffalo. Is there anything else kind of that's directly Buffalo specific on this album that is direct references pulled through? Like I saw in the one music video for, oh my gosh, one of the songs where you guys where it was spray painting.
Oh my God.
On like one of the walls, and I'm like, oh,
as an old boy.
Was there anything off this newer album that's like, hey, if you're from Buffalo, this is from this moment, or this is something specific that someone from Buffalo can relate to?
So the video that we released the most recently for hashtag Anarchy is that's actually filmed mostly in a punk house that's still running. What the fuck?
It has a lot of different names.
It's the Soup of Descent. And they Trey runs it, and he's been a huge friend and he's a huge activist. But he kind of took over when our most recent house went under, and we called it quits after that. And we sort of dedicated it more to being a studio. Because we've been running house shows for, oh my God,
the whole time,
8 years.
Yeah.
Wait, real quick, I'm sorry, I just want to make sure something. Flower House, are you guys off of Main Street?
Yeah.
Was that show? Were you guys at the basement?
Yes.
It was a tiny ass basement. People used to hang beer cans on the ceiling.
Yeah.
We had the Swellers play there once.
The Swellers played there.
I've been to that. I've been to that house before once. I was there with a friend, Will Salisbury.
We know Will.
You know Will?
Holy shit! Wait, is that Will?
Yeah.
From B-Side Bastards.
Yeah.
Me and Will came out and we saw Mike. I'm gonna go blank on his last name. Mike from Abrupters. Before the Abrupters kicked off, he did a show there.
Mike Geraci.
Yes, Geraci.
Maybe with 737 or B-Side Bastards.
737 sounds familiar when I was there.
I think it's got to be 737. I think we're too late.
Okay.
That was when Mike couldn't get all the when he couldn't get the B-Side Bastards together, but he wanted to play a good show. 737 was the super talented bass player, and the Abrupters now drummer. I always fuck up his name.
I can never remember if it's Alex or Andrew.
I'm gonna go blank on the name.
Those guys in 737 were Alex and Andrew. And
and that's why I fuck it up all.
That's why I mix it up.
Okay, so this is all right. So I wanted to ask that after I was gonna ask about Flower House. So, okay, so I know exactly where you guys were from. I remember once or twice I was there. I was there then. Sweet.
Yeah.
Remember you guys had Mike had a table set up almost in between the living room and the dining room, I think, something like that. He had a little he was selling CDs or something, I think. There was almost a makeshift merch table.
We were legit. We had a real operation going for sure.
Then we'd when the show ended, we'd go upstairs and we'd go, "Hey guys, get your stuff off the table. We got to play drinking games. Get out of the way."
Oh, great. All right, cool. So that's a Flower House. So you were talking about hashtag Anarchy because I did want to ask about this music video. I love the way it's shot. I love the looking through the bottle glass and kind of seeing this. I don't know. It felt kind of like seeing eyes in a punk house. That's kind of where I was getting it from, and that's where it started to kind of click on. I wonder if this is that same Flower House that I'd been to, because I only been to one or two punk houses. And where did the idea for Anarchy come out?
Tattoo there. Hashtag for the music video or for the song?
A little bit of both. Let's hear them.
I think this is definitely more of Jay was more the writer on that song.
Oh,
Like we
okay.
all split writing responsibilities, and like we all collaborate
Mhm.
like throughout all the material. The music video though was definitely um, sort of a rip off of They Live, which is like this sci-fi movie from the late 80s.
Starring Roddy Piper.
Yeah,
Oh
where he
God.
put on these sunglasses and he saw things as they really were.
Yep.
And in the
I've
video,
seen the
it's
trailer for that. Okay.
yeah, and in the video, it's kind of that lens of you look through, and you see through some people's hubris, you see through their arrogance. Like everyone wants to present themselves a certain way, and like you can kind of break things down and see how shallow some people's perspectives are. And the video's a joke though. It's really being facetious. It's really trying to just not it's about not taking yourself too seriously, I
Mhm.
think. And the song is just from various times where you'd see like a dirty punk kid at a basement show and he like would brag about not showering for days and he'd ask for change for a beer, but then he'd pull out his brand new iPhone and then he'd like send a tweet or something and it's like, what the hell do you stand for? Like, and then hashtag anarchy is just like
Oh yeah.
it's just a joke, really.
It is meant to sound as ridiculous as it does when it comes out of your mouth to say hashtag anarchy.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
it's a little on the nose, but it's also kind of our sense of humor at the same time. So
Nice. No, I definitely really enjoy it. It's, the music video, it's even if it was kind of more played off like on a rip on it, it's still a good one and well shot. And I think
yeah,
that's where it has this. That's kind of where I was going with I guess sound quality, where I kind of said like it feels more authentic and down and very like local indie bass. Like this wasn't a polished music video made by Green Day. It wasn't a
right,
perfectly
Oh, Lord,
shot in a
no.
like, but no, like it wasn't up to that. It wasn't. It's not this polished MTV music video. This is more. Listen, this is down to earth. I felt like I assumed I was seeing clips from Buffalo,
yeah,
from down on the street and within someone's house, and this is like was real. It wasn't fake, and it gave someone a glimpse into, hey, this is what it's like.
yeah,
You
for sure. The producer was Nick Green, and he knew our aesthetic. He's like, you guys are like a house show band. You're like Buffalo guys, you're Buffalo punk rock, and he had seen our other videos, and it's like the more people we can cram into the video, I think the better it looks. So, um, we really like videos from bands like Every Time I Die, where they literally one of their biggest songs is a music video shot on Custer Street, which was like three streets down from Flower Street.
know?
So,
We lived on at one
yeah,
point.
so it's like Buffalo is, what's the saying? Blue collar, knows the grind, like everyone's down to earth, but and that shouldn't be seen as like a simple thing. It's a
No.
cultural thing.
No, it
too.
definitely is a cultural thing. And I think one thing that if you're not from Buffalo and you're to see this, I think this is something that anyone can relate to, at least from your music videos. So you guys have this is who we are. You don't show the big lavishing lifestyles of the city. You showed the undergroundness, the dirtiness, the griminess that everyone can relate to. That no, this is fucking punk. This is us.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, some of the other songs I was listening through, I'm gonna tell you, The Pits. Awesome. It really I liked the idea of being in the pit with it. And then I don't know if you guys want to kind of go through. I don't know what songs did you said that you all kind of share up and divvy up the writing process. Is there any specific songs that you guys had written on or you took great pride of this is my takeaway song from the album? How about that?
I think the only note I have on the Pits, I think it was the first song for the new record.
It was.
And we started playing it really early on, like before the rest of the album was concepted, just because, as I mentioned earlier, we had friends that we were losing to things like substance abuse, like, you know, mental health, suicide, things like that. And we felt like this is the kind of song that gets people dancing, gets like a mosh pit going, but it's also like the pit in your stomach where it's like, or the saying, it's you're in the pits. It's like you're in this bad place, and it's seen a lot of different ways. But
no, I honestly have never heard to it as referred to as the pits. I never even saw the double take on it, but I got the whole, when you see the pits or you think of the pits, and even how you open it, you know, the pit feels light tonight. I can understand that. I've been to those shows at Mohawk where you're like, this is it right now. No, I fortunately I don't know. Fortunately, oh, you guys froze up a little bit on me.
Are you still seeing us?
Yep, I still see you guys, but it's frozen.
Sorry, we're getting a weird thing. Okay, we're here.
Nope, you guys are good. But like, so like the pits, like
as far as the songs
like
go, Tyler and I really collaborated on. Oh, it was Rise.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So later on in the record is a song called Rise that Tyler sort of wrote this poem in a way. It was like almost like a journal entry where he just kind of expressed all these different ideas about his trouble sleeping and how it affected the way he felt. And I sort of took his journal entry and sort of shifted it into sort of just a song about frustration, and I just tried to accent what he was already saying in his poem to just drive out the bigger and more important themes of it.
A big theme on Lamplighter as an album is mental health. And like for me, well, one of the things that's usually like a key off for me to be like, things are not going great is just like bouts of insomnia. So they're like just, it is not I mean, I'm already a pretty like late sleeper, but it is not uncommon for me to be like especially if I'm in like a bad place, to be up till like 5 or 6 in the morning for days in a row, and then wake up at like noon or 1. And that song that was something that I kind of was pushing in, that is sort of the things that are going on in your head, because it's not like every time that happens you're just like partying your ass off. A lot of times you have work.
Yeah.
And you gotta get up the next day, but it's 5 o'clock in the morning and there is just no sleep in sight. And it's a lot of the mental things that are happening while you're just trying to force yourself to go to sleep.
I'm glad you said it, because I started to pick up on that. Kind of the theme on the album is mental health and mental awareness, and I didn't know that before, Mike, about you as being a lifeline counselor. Oop. Can you hear me?
Sorry, we're playing with the volume here.
It's all good. You had the theme for the album really kind of hitting and focusing and touching on mental awareness and the importance of it. I myself, I'm not a counselor, but I do work for a mental health agency. So through my job, it's prevalent to how important that is. You know, mental health is just as important as physical health, just as important as emotional. Like, this is something that's real, that isn't acknowledged and isn't pushed, and it's slowly coming around to being accepted and made self-aware. And I think it's awesome that you guys as a punk band will push that, because when I think punk, I don't think mental health. I think, down with the man, aggressive, kids, teenagers, anarchy, and just kind of like that rebel youth and revolt. So I really respect, and there's a greater appreciation for this album for that like message you guys bring through, really.
Yeah, thanks, Anthony. I think self-care is very important if you want to continue to fight the man.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's between Mike working at I have a degree in psychology and substance abuse counseling. So it's like there's a lot of us kind of, we've always been sort of near it, I guess, at least within the last couple of years. But it's this album, between the incidental deaths of some of our friends and other things, we just put everything together to be like, we need to, like, it felt like that album sort of had to happen to make any impact at all.
I can understand that, and I highly respect that. That's a good reason to write an album.
Thanks, Anthony.
That's good. That is a honestly, listen, guys, if you're listening and you don't, and for whatever reason you don't like the music, whatever, cool. Everyone has their own taste, but you can't hate the album for that. Like there's a line of, it is good. That's awesome. We were talking a little bit about the songs, and we started to mention a little bit about the writing process. Do you mind? I know Tyler, or no, I'm sorry, not Tyler. Jason had to leave right now for a little bit. Kind of what's going on? What's the writing process like for the three of you guys? Because you said you all kind of share it. Is it usually just like, hey, I have lyrics, can we put music to it, or does someone does it kind of all up in the air? Whoever writes something, then you all kind of jump off of?
I think we each have our own approach, and we definitely challenge each other to do different things. There will be times where I will have lyrics and acoustic guitar, like recordings with chords, and then there will be times where Jay will straight up write a whole song and record it in a studio with electric guitar and faux drums, just like a drum track behind it. And then there will be times where Tyler will be like, I got all these lyrics, but I don't play guitar and I don't sing, so just here's all this stuff. And we just try to approach songs differently kind of each time. Right now we're writing this really conceptual EP, so we've really changed.
We've taken a step off the deep end to well, as a band in the COVID times, there's only so much that you can do. So we decided to try to write something that bucked a lot of our usual trends, and we're like, let's just be weird with it.
Yeah.
And that has, honestly, I think it's been a huge help in us just communicating better. But it's also produced some pretty interesting music.
Yeah, I think so.
When you guys are pulling in and kind of writing your own material, where do you guys pull from inspiration from? I mean, is there any specific bands that you kind of, I don't know, I know it's usually like a high school thing, and I know it does carry on into adult, post high school, that your music sort of sounds like who you listen to. But is there any bands or any specific artist, or even if you're writing lyrics, that you pull from? Is there a specific artist that just really just is your bread and butter of where you draw the energy from?
I think there's this band called Strike Anywhere, and if Strike Anywhere didn't exist, I don't think our band would exist. But as far as songs now with writing, I think inspiration comes from a lot of different places, and like we get pretty specific as far as song references that inspire songs now, and we try to pull it from different places. We don't want to just be like this 90s skate punk sounding band. We want to sound relevant. We want to sound modern. We want to have a mix of different things in different genres. So we're trying to pull more in as we go.
Nice. For listeners out there that haven't heard you yet, which, by the way, guys, if you haven't yet, hit pause, go listen to them, then come back. What are some bands that you would feel that in a I don't want to say dream tour, but in a dream tour, if there is a couple bands that you guys could open for, or even co-headline or headline, like what bands would you say this is a tour from On The Cinder, that this is us and this is going to give you a great show?
That's a good way to put this, because when we've had similar conversations after a couple of wobbly pops, we have written off some bands that would be totally awesome because we're like, they probably don't party.
Man, we got to open for the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones when they played in Rochester last year.
I'm so mad I missed that show.
Oh, it was excellent. It was sold out. I had to like sneak friends in, and I had to like beg the owner for like a couple other people to get in. But that show with that band, like they were consummate professionals. They were super nice to us. They were all into it, even though we're a totally different kind of band. Their staff helped us. Like their tour manager helped us put up our banner. It was like such an awesome experience compared to opening for some other bands. But no matter what, like those kind of headliners that are really national and they've been doing it forever, you can't really expect much from them just because they're doing their job.
Yeah.
And like it's just awesome to get some respect and care from those kind of bands. So I think the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones would be insane.
A Mighty Mighty Boss Tones tour with us would be total. We would every night. I feel like we'd be pushing them to be like, "Yo, you guys want to do some more of the heavy stuff? Like, that'd be crazy. Play some ska core, the devil, and more." I think people will lose their mind. I don't know.
Like they would definitely do Dr. D. They didn't in Rochester. They didn't in Rochester last year. But yeah, we're still ska geeks at heart.
Yeah.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong, man. I tell everyone, my heart pounds sellout and I bleed checkered.
There you go.
It just you can't stop it.
I also think that they kept that tour a little bit more low key because they were with Bedouin Soundclash. So I feel like they thought it would be weird if they played like, Bedouin Soundclash was, I think that they were their opener. I don't know if they were switching nights or not.
Yeah.
I think they were just opening.
But I think that they thought it would be weird if they were like, all right, well, first song out of the gate off of the like super mellow smoking weed Bedouin Soundclash set is Dr. D, and then you watch someone like punch a 16-year-old kid in the face, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a Boston show.
So you mentioned the Boss Tones. You guys have played some other bands. What are some of the more of the memorable shows you guys had done? I don't know whether it be opening acts or whether it be like headliner, like bands that toured with, or even just like specific shows or venues that you remember playing. Like I know the Rage was Infinity. Club Infinity was awesome, and it was like that one show where the floor caved in. Everyone remembers that. Is there a specific show that you guys were like, I remember this?
That wasn't Infinity. That was the Waiting Room. That was the Streetlight show where the floor caved in.
Yeah,
was at the Waiting Room.
That was my bad then. Yeah, but like that. What is there any shows that stick out to you guys that you remember that was a killer night that for whatever reason, if there were any mistakes or any mess ups, no one picked them up?
I have a cute little story.
All right.
Well, I was living in Buffalo with these guys. My wife, my girlfriend then, was working and living in New York City, and we were opening for the Mad Caddies. And this was, I don't know, what, 2016, 2017? I have to go look at the poster. 2015 maybe. She was coming in to visit that weekend, and we played our set. I ran to the airport to go pick her up, brought her back to the show. We made it just in time for Drinking for 11. We snuck in the back, and that was a special moment. Like, I think the audience liked it, but liked our stuff. But we played a lot of ska shows.
Yeah, well, actually, one of my favorites. The show was really good. We've played with Authority Zero like 5 times,
something like that. Yeah.
And they always seem to have some sort of crazy story attached to the show. There was the one time that one of our friends was hammered and he kept trying to drag a high top table into the mosh pit, and they let him do it 3 times before they kicked him out.
Oh God.
Nice. But the last time that we played with them, their drummer was the drummer from Pulley, and we were like, everyone was loading their stuff up afterwards, and me and him got talking, And then eventually we were just hanging out with Authority Zero, drinking beers out of their cooler in their trailer. And we talked about their van, and they said that their van had 400,000 miles on it. And
Oh
I
my
said,
gosh.
wow, that's insane. And he goes, well, the body does. He's like, we've replaced the transmission, we've replaced the engine, the frame has 400,000 miles.
Now, I think you said it, the van brings in a great question. So you guys have toured. When you guys tour, just being the three of you, is it just a car loaded up with some gear, or do you guys have a trailer? How does that work? Because I've heard stories with bands, they all cram together and it's like, this sucks, but it's what we have to do.
It's all the ska bands you have on your show,
Yeah.
probably.
Majority.
We let's see. We started in a Subaru.
Yes, the Subaru Forester
And
or
then
Outback. I never remember which one.
I think it was.
I think it's the Outback.
I think yeah. And then we got our own van for like $800 or something. It was
and then that one didn't work.
What was it called? Vanny DeVito.
Vanny DeVito was the first van that actually got on the road.
Right.
The green van died in the driveway.
Oh shit! Yeah, that was a waste of money.
Oops.
Vanny DeVito was our red van for like 2 years, and then that broke down. So we bought a miniature school bus.
Gus the bus.
Gus the bus, and that had a lot of wear and tear on it just from being a bus.
Crippling mechanical issues.
Yeah, it was just
on
totally
the West Coast.
totally rusted out. And then 2 years ago, we just decided we're gonna be a band for a long time. So we invested in a it's a Ford. What is it? 350.
3500.
3500. So it's a 12 passenger, and we just rip out the back two seats usually, and
Not really. So part of the touring band thing is always learning how to Tetris your gear if you don't roll with a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And we will not do the trailer.
I can understand that.
I think that we all are pretty averse to it. It's just so much. It kills your gas mileage. It's just a pain in the ass to park anywhere. God forbid you go a place somewhere like the city, like New York City.
Yeah. You gotta pay the extra toll too.
You got extra tolls, extra axles. It's all bullshit. Just throw it in the back of the van.
We'd probably do a trailer if we were still a ska band, just to stuff all the horn players back there.
Yeah,
just all five of them.
It's like
get in there.
It's Always Sunny. They'll light a fire. They got a barbecue. It's fine.
Yeah.
When you guys are touring, so I wanted to ask is what is your guys' gear lineup? So you're a drummer. Are you playing? How big is the P set? Is it smaller?
I play a pretty standard setup. It's a 1 up, 1 down, bass drum, snare drum, 5 cymbals. It's a Mapex Armory, and I love it.
Nice.
But other than that, it's not like I condense my kit at all. If I'm goofing around at home, I've got extra toms and extra cymbals and just a bunch of garbage that I can put together if I want to be in a metal band for a second.
As all musicians do, And
it's oh yeah, I'm gonna set up the extra splash in China and just play some, I don't know, Death Heaven. Cool.
I know Jason's not here, but for you and him, Mike, what is it like for you guys? You guys just roll with just amp, case, and then just pedal board, something simple, or you guys?
We're very bare bones. We have an 8x10, or wait, 8x12. I don't remember. 8x10 Ampeg bass cab. I had an Ampeg 7 Pro, and it's crapped the bed, so that's the only thing that the pandemic has been good for. I have time to fix my gear.
Nice.
Then Jay uses a Marshall cabinet, and
he was also playing. He was playing the Mesa last tour, though.
Yeah, so
it's still a 4x12 either way. It takes up room.
So we got our gear is decent size for being 3 dudes, but
you guys have the oomph.
Our Tetris is really good,
especially when we're playing basements, we blow the roof off,
if we want to do,
not in a good way either.
If we wanted to get the cops called at any time, we probably could.
Have you guys ever had the cops called on you guys for a show?
At Flower, we did. At
No, it
Ripley,
wasn't a show.
Oh, it was the after party.
It was actually an Authority Zero after party. At Ripley, we had the cops called a lot. That was our second house.
Any cops on tour?
Cops on tour. We got the cops called on tour in Pittsburgh when we were trying to play outside of the tattoo parlor.
Yeah.
Then we moved it inside the tattoo parlor. It was fine.
I don't know. That's just a caution you run. You know?
That's just any time.
That's a part of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys were talking about being out of Flower House. I did want to get into this and ask, and you had talked about how you guys had kind of more or less formed Flower House Records to put out your album. That's from what I was gathering. What is that like? I mean, in Buffalo, you guys are a record. Is it considered like a full? Is it a record company, label? What is the technical name? Is there?
I guess it's considered a record label, and we just do our own distribution. We don't have other bands on yet. So much of our efforts with Flower House Records has just been selling our own records and, you know, getting them out as much as we can. Like doing the label, it's a mix of trying to push vinyl as best we can, but also trying to push the digital stuff, like making sure we're on Spotify, making sure we're on iTunes, making sure we have music videos in the works, making sure our social media is up to date. It's like, it's
all you guys in-house running it, it sounds.
Yeah, it's stuff all bands do. We just were like, Jay has Flower House Studios and we have Flower House Records now, and it's really all encompassing. At some point we will probably put out another band's material and do the distribution and all that for them. It's just, now is just a really hard time for trying to sell records, trying to push music. You can push music because there's, you know, the internet, you can do Spotify. We're starting to get better at pushing Spotify stuff, getting into the algorithms, knowing how to get your music out there more. It's just, with our album having been out a year, now it's sort of like, you know, through this pandemic, we just got to keep finding ways to reintroduce it to people and keep it fresh, and also have something new to put out shortly. Because next year, 2021, every band you've ever heard of is going to put out a CD, put it on vinyl record, going to go on tour. Like, 2021 is going to be a huge year in music, and you just got to find your way to stand out from all the saturation, I guess.
Yeah. I have two questions that great one I want to ask is, you're talking about trying to find a new way to kind of keep it fresh and keep it new. Have you had mentioned in the beginning about how guys initially attempted to try and do something acoustic before On The Cinder was originally started. Have you thought about trying to put out an acoustic EP? Is any talks like that in the works?
I've been doing this little series called Acousdemic. I've just been doing these mashups of songs from friends' bands from around the country, and it's been a fun way to like play other people's music, just have fun. But us doing acoustic is not really something that I think our band needs, really. I think
it can work. It's not like it sounds bad. I don't know if we'd ever put anything into like pressing.
Yeah, I mean,
acoustic isn't necessary. It's just one of those, I see a lot of bands, especially during the pandemic when they're all at home, it's what they're doing now. It's easier to just grab an acoustic and play than get everyone together.
Yeah. It's, I love playing acoustic guitar. I think it's, I find it a lot easier and more comfortable than playing an electric guitar. But I'm also the bass player in this.
Yes.
But writing songs on acoustic is so comfortable for me, and it's more like I see acoustic as being something to have fun with, and it's part of the writing process, but it's not really something I think our project needs. There's tons of bands doing acoustic stuff. They should enjoy it. They should have it, and we'll just focus on the heavy stuff and you can check out the acousdemic videos. They're me trying my best, but it's not that good still.
All right. Listen, Divers
The
Mullen, check
Beach
out
Boys
those
supposed to be
acousdemic videos. The second one I want to follow up, I know Jason, I'm hoping I probably he would answer it better, but I'm gonna throw it out to you guys. So Flower House Studios, when did that come out? Was that did that come out of the birth of For the Record? Was that kind of a impromptu, like, well, we also have to have a studios, or was that something on the work that you guys have had before?
So Flower House Studios was something that it's always sort of existed, but it never really had a name. So Jason does work, like his one of his secondary gigs is that he's just a recording, well, he's just a studio. Like he does a ton of local hip hop. He does a lot of local punk bands. Like he's got it started off with just us, and he literally, in the beginning of this band, when we were getting ready to try to record the first semblance of music that we had ever put out, he basically said, it's more cost effective for us to get the equipment, like to get some equipment, learn how to use the software, and then just get better at it over time than it is to just blow thousands and thousands of dollars every single time that we want to try to record something. So he just started picking it up, and it's got just incrementally better every single time.
That's like pretty crazy, pretty cool. It's awesome and fun to hear that, because coming from a podcast network where a lot of us all started it off in our in our rooms, or at just at someone else's kitchen with a table with a laptop and a microphone. To we have some friends that they have a studio out in NT where they're recording. We have our own little office space. Me and my friend on our other show for our network, we have our little studio. So to see a band, you guys go, you know what? We should just do it ourselves, and to have it blossoming, a pun not intended, into Flower House Studios. Like, that's
well done. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, I can't write that.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's awesome, and it's really inspiring to show that, hey, all these other local bands, I mean, if you're looking for a place to record, I mean, if you don't have the equipment, you don't have the means, I mean, by myself, I would try to go as local as possible before I just jumped up to the number one studio, or the top most professional. Like, I would want to find out who in Buffalo is like me, who is trying to, grind it. And that's what you guys are doing.
And it's a big thing too, to have, like, especially through alternative music, it's nice to have somebody, behind the board that is more in tune with. They didn't just produce some like 55-year-old guy's blues record. Like, they just did a deathcore band, and now you come in and you have something a little bit lighter. Like, you come in as a pop punk band, or Jay's recorded a ska band, and our friend Toy Box Brigade. Like, he's done a ska band. He's done. I don't know if he's done a metal band.
No, Toy Box Brigade, they are awesome.
Yeah,
kids. He's thrown down really, really good records, everything from like thrash, from Bastard to Toy Box Brigade, to independent, like, acoustic solo singer-songwriter stuff. He can do it all, and it's really all just the same handful of mics and knowing how to work the equipment.
It's all it takes. It's all it takes.
Anthony, what you're describing, like, you have this collection of people that also do podcasts, that do videos. It's the same thing as being in a band. It's the same thing as having a small business. I don't know if you can hear the
I can hear it.
That's how they get their rent so cheap here. But so it's everything now is about doing the work yourself. And the sooner you realize it, the better. Like, if you were to be a band that's waiting for a label to pick you up and release your stuff, you're gonna be waiting forever. Like, it's more important to put stuff out for people to listen to, for people to understand what you're doing, than it is to wait for the right opportunity. You have to create your own opportunities, whether it's podcast, whether you're a band, whether you're an artist, whether you're looking for a job, just do what's right by you.
I think that's summed up perfectly, especially for I can connect on a different level with, other than just, oh, hey, I like your music and I like what you guys are doing. It's more of like, no, I get this. And I can understand that. I mean, I understand all, and I think I can relate to most of the bands that are grinding. It's constantly, it's never done the job. But when you're trying to build up something as far as putting it out as a business and you're trying to step it up there's an understanding and appreciation that, like, no, I get it. Me and my friends, we've been doing the same thing, and I hope you guys continue to thrive and freaking, like I said, blossom and grow and explode out of this Buffalo area, because Buffalo needs their music scene back. And I really can't wait for COVID to be done to be able to see you guys live. I'm super excited. I'm super mad. I don't have any, I can't recall memories of seeing you guys specifically. I'm sure I've heard you guys at a show before.
Yeah, if you were at Flower House, we were probably playing that night. Like,
oh, probably. But thank you so much, Mike and Tyler, guys. Jason, off camera right now. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to be able to call in for this awesome interview. And I'm really cool and really happy I was able to get some, Buffalo guys in on this and to show this. This is a city that Buffalo loves itself. We love our artists. We love our community. And listen, if you're listening in and you love some Buffalo music, check out On The Cinder. You will not be disappointed unless you explicitly do not like punk, thrash, metalcore, etc. I mean, if you like country and hip hop, you probably aren't a fan of that music, but fuck it. Go check them out still. Guys, thank you so much. Let them know where can they hit you up? Where can they head on over? I know we have there's a Bandcamp set up as well as a website.
Mm-hmm. On the Cinder.bandcamp. We're on Facebook. Instagram is like kind of where we're shifting everything, just because it's kind of still growing, whereas Facebook just wants to keep putting people down. We have our Store Envy. It's Flower House Records at Store Envy. We also have our Bandcamp store if you're interested in the record. But yeah, also just Mike and Tyler and Jason, we're on Facebook. Like, we're just guys. And like, if you ever want us to play your basement or your backyard with masks, of course, hit us up. But yeah, Anthony, thank you so much for having us on. This has been a lot of fun.
It's definitely been a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much. And Divers Mennonites, once again, guys, please head on over, check the band out, check out, show the support. Listen, before we go, we didn't even get to talk about this awesome insert within the vinyl. This is beautiful, guys. It's a bunch of the lyrics cut between photos from live shows, and it just looks like overall goodness, times at the beach and everything. And I mean, this was so cool to kind of check this out. I was expecting like a little pamphlet of like, oh, this is lyrics. I was like, oh no, this looks awesome. Like, this is the shit. I love this. And on top of it, album art is beautiful. So please head on over, pick up the vinyl, help them out, and share your support and love. Till then, guys, keep diving.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, man.